Right, guys, it's the early hours of the morning. Transfer deadline day is over, and this was a pretty busy transfer window, especially the last couple of days for Scottish clubs. Was not expecting all this activity in the final day, even though Celtic probably need about 200 players to even try and hold on to second place. There was a lot of signings made, and yeah, so we're going to give a quick run through. Basically, we'll just cover all the teams in Scotland, or at least all the relevant teams. If you support Hamilton, I'm sorry, but you're not worth us wasting 30 seconds over. So, with that said, before we talk about the first couple of teams, I think the biggest signing, in my opinion, of this window probably has.
Frimpong to Leverkusen.
Well, in terms of value, it's the biggest signing. And yeah, Celtic seem to like Frimpong. But I'm on about today. I think Kamberi returning to Scotland. To,
Really?
yeah, well, in my opinion, I think Kamberi return. I think Aberdeen desperately needed a striker, and I think he could. I think he could play a great role for Aberdeen. Thought he was good at Hibs. Thought he was good at Rangers. I'm surprised.
Fuck, he thought he was good at Rangers. Name me one thing he did.
Right then, who do you think's the best signing of the day?
It was probably as him. Like, I fucking don't
See,
know.
there you go. You're fucking Mongol.
You're hyping up what he did at Rangers.
He
He,
scored a
he,
couple of
he
goals.
signed at the end of January
Scored a couple of goals.
against who?
Well, I don't know. I'm not the
Well,
Rangers
yeah,
fan here. Who did he
exactly.
score against then?
Because he did.
Ah, well, there you go. Right, fuck it. Right, anyway, let's go through. So Aberdeen.
Well, no, he did get a couple.
Right,
Like,
shut up. Nobody
no,
cares.
I'm just letting you know.
Right, nobody cares. Aberdeen, final day of the transfer window, and they've managed to pull off, in my opinion, well, three, but technically four big signings. First, they've brought in Fraser Hornby from Stade de Reims on loan till the end of the season. Also, Florian Kamberi is a loan deal from St Gallen, but they definitely needed those two strikers because they did let go of Ryan Edmundson and Bruce Anderson, also Sam Cosgrove, who we know went to Birmingham City, and Curtis Main left today to go to Shrewsbury Town. So that is four strikers leaving Aberdeen. So they got two in. They've also signed Callum Hendry on loan from St Johnstone. And they made the deal of Ross McCrory permanent. So Ross McCrory no longer a Rangers player. He has signed a deal and he is now officially an Aberdeen player. Thoughts on Aberdeen's transfer window? Do you think they've had a good one, a bad one? Keep in mind they did lose those four strikers and they also lost Ojo to Wigan and Scott Wright to Rangers.
I'd say a shit one. Because Kamberi, for all he's made it to be, scored one goal for Rangers, albeit 6 games, no too bad. But 11 goals for Hibs. This guy's supposed to be made it to be the fucking rock. Dead on. Back of the queue.
Overall, it might not be a good transfer window, but I think they've definitely salvaged it on transfer deadline day.
Yes, but at the same time, they're still fucking in debt. They're crippled.
Well, here, see if you could tell me that you were going to get rid of, on transfer deadline day, you were going to get rid of Curtis Main and Edmundson, but bring in Fraser Hornby, Canberry, Callum Hendry, and get Ross McCrory on a permanent
Okay.
deal. I would say that's a pretty good deal. Aberdeen's transfer window, I'll give I'll give it a, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I think 5 out of 10 is a bit fair.
Nah, we'll give it
I
that.
think the players they've brought in are decent, but they've also lost. You know, they have lost Sam Cosgrove and Scott Wright, and
And I guess you
you
could
can't deny
argue.
it. Those Thomas Cerny also retired, but whether I mean, I don't know if that's a massive blow or not. He's a good backup goalkeeper, but I mean, I guess he is replaceable. Moving on, we have Celtic, who are also busy in the well, I say busy, like they
Awful
brought him
busy.
they brought in one player, John Joe Kenny, on loan from Everton. I'm really surprised here. Celtic struggling in the league big time. If ever they were going to go out and try and bring in a load of players, splash the cash, he thought it would have been now. But no, they've decided to keep Neil Lennon. They've also decided to keep their piggy banks intact. They didn't get smashed because they've spent no money. Just the loan signing of John Joe Kenny, who they
You know
brought in
what?
earlier,
I'm going to rank Celtic's window. It's getting a 10. They've kept Neil Lennon. The only 10 they'll be getting,
and
right?
and they've kept Duffy. I mean,
And they've actually got rid of Nincham and Frimpong.
so from a Rangers perspective, like
It's
it's
a
a 10 out
fucking
of 10. But
John Joe Kenny.
like you said, from a Celtic perspective, I mean, they also got rid of Cham on loan. He's away to Marseille, and a bunch of other players that aren't really worth
I mean,
mentioning
let's be
on
real,
loan.
right?
But overall, yep,
They could have sacked Lennon and gave whoever they were going to bring in.
yeah, 5 months to get some players in
Yeah,
here and build a squad,
and
and
an
the
extra
summer
window.
transfer window. To me, that's it. That's the right thing to do. And just say to the fans, look, we're bringing in a new manager. No pressure on him. We know that 10 in a row's over, and give him 5 months to the end. Do you know what I mean? To me, it was a fucking no brainer. So
Yep.
Celtic's transfer window out of 10. What are you giving it?
0. John Joe
I think a
Kennedy's.
zero's fair because I think considering the situation they were in, I think they had
They
to.
didn't get rid of Lennon.
Yep. I mean, let's be real. See, when this transfer window started, they were still in the title race, hanging on, like they're still in it.
They beat Rangers, they were fucking thoroughly in it,
And
and
by
then
the time it's ended,
it's
it's not.
fucking
It's not even just the Rangers game. Losing the Rangers game was bad,
drawn every
but
game,
they've dropped further
getting
points
beat by
since then.
St Mirren.
So
Yeah, they
yeah,
beat Hamilton, but I mean, I could beat Hamilton
I've got to give it a zero for Celtic. In
4-11.
my opinion, this needed to be the biggest transfer window Celtic have had in arguably a decade, and they didn't deliver. So a zero for me. Dundee United didn't bring anybody in. Paul McMullen's away to Dundee. Strange choice there, going from Dundee United to Dundee. Cammy Smith is away to Ayr. Adam King on loan to Raith Rovers, and Jake Davidson on loan to Arbroath. I mean, they didn't bring anyone in. They're
Who's
big at
this?
Dundee United.
No.
How can you not realise the players? They're in our Master
I
League.
didn't hear what you
Paul
said.
McMullen out to Dundee, which is a weird one, going
He's
to the
going to the
rivals.
Alliance.
Cammy Smith away to Ayr United, Adam King on loan to Raith Rovers, and Jake Davidson on loan to Arbroath. Strange window for Dundee United, in my opinion, not to bring a single player in, and they are slipping down the table. So I mean, really, what? I mean, 2, 3 out of 10.
Yeah, they kept their key players, I
I
guess.
guess, yeah. I mean, that's all you can say. Maybe maybe I don't know. Maybe funds are tight in Dundee United, and they are. I would say they're safe. I don't think they're going to get relegated. So it's
Next,
not an awful window, but perhaps they could have did better. Up next, got Hamilton. Only signing is on loan Bruce Anderson for Aberdeen, and they released two players, Justin Johnson and Ula Labi, whoever the fuck that is. I don't even know if that guy played, or Justin Johnson, to be honest. But they did get Bruce Anderson for Aberdeen on loan, which I guess is half decent. Hamilton, do they really need to sign players? They always seem to hang on and survive somehow, barely. So overall, I'll give it a.
they're fucking pissed. I'll give him a 0. Bruce Anderson. I could look him keeping you up.
I'd give them a 4 out of 10.
For fucking a 0. Sooner the down the better. I know we're right in our window, but get the window.
Out the window, out the door. Up next, got Hibs again.
Kit Nesbitt.
Didn't have it. Yeah, they rejected £3 million from Ness, but fair play to them. I would have accepted it, but obviously Hibs think he's worth more, and he is probably going to be key for Hibs if they are going to get third place this season, or maybe they think they can aim even higher than that. In terms of players they brought in, Matt Macy from Arsenal, Jackson Irvine, a free agent, and Chris Caden from Colombia's Crew, I believe the former Motherwell player. Out was Tom James on loan to Salford, Stevie Mallon on loan to Yeni Matalosper, and Jamie Gullen on loan to Rafe Rovers. I'd say the players they brought in. Well, I kind of like Stevie Mallon, but I'd say they brought in better quality of players than they've let out. So I mean, I'd probably give Hibs.
I'll give him a 5.
I think I think maybe a 5 or a 6. I'd say I'd give him a 6 because in fairness, I gave Aberdeen. If I gave Aberdeen a 5, I probably need to give Hibs a 6. I think 6 is probably about right. I mean, I think Jackson Irvine's all right, Chris Caden's all right, and I mean Matt Macy is a goalkeeper that should be able to push Marciano for a starting place. Up next, Kilmarnock had a average window bringing in Dabo from Stevenage, George Oakley free agent, whoever the fuck that is, Brandon Pierre from Crystal Palace on loan, and Sek Medley from Arsenal on loan.
Who's pish?
Thoughts on those players they brought in?
Um, Awful.
Mm. In terms of players out, Jake
I mean,
Eastwood.
Brophy alone now.
Yeah, Jake Eastwood, Sheffield United on loan. Inns Cameron Alloa on loan,
Wait,
and Eamon Brophy to St Mirren on
Sheffield
loan.
United signed a player on loan from Kilmarnock.
Yep.
And they want to stay in the Premier League?
Yep. And Eamon Brophy on loan to St Mirren, but on a pre-contract, and he will become a St Mirren player at the end of the season. I think Kilmarnock are fucked for the biggest reason is on their list of outs isn't the manager. What's his name? Alex
Yes, he
Dyer. Is he?
he resigned.
Well, maybe they've got a chance of staying up then. On that note,
Fucking
take it back.
retard.
But for me, Eamon Brophy. Well, I mean, when I first heard of it, I thought it was a weird.
Well, Kelly plays Celtic the
I
most.
thought it was a weird deal, but I mean, you look at it now and St are above Kilmarnock above the league table, so I mean, maybe it's not such a weird deal. I think Brophy's a good player. I like Brophy. I think he'll do good at St Mirren, and who knows, St Mirren want a top six finish. At the rate they're going, it looks like they'll get it, and who knows, maybe they could get even higher. But to rate Kilmarnock on transfers alone, I'm going to give them a
Alone.
three.
Is that all?
What?
Well, you said alone there. Fucking wise up there, kid.
Fucking Home Alone. Transfer window alone,
Fucking
I'm going to have to give it a 3 out of 10 at best, and that's being generous because I think they've lost their best player in Eamon Brophy, or at least one of their best players. Your thoughts on
He
that?
got rid of the manager. I'll give him a 4.
Get rid of Alex Dyer. Looks like he got rid of himself by the sound of things.
He's not there, right?
Fair enough. Up next, Livingston. In Gavin Riley from Carlisle,
Oh,
Jace
yeah.
Cabia from
Oh,
Shelburne,
he's pretty good.
and Jackson Longridge from Bradford City.
He's
Thoughts
not
on
bad.
thoughts on those three world class signings for Livingston?
Uh, quality, man.
Out, we've got Lars Lokovic going to FSV. Shut the fuck up. Kieran Brown going on loan to Cardiff. Jack Hamilton on loan to Arbroath, and Robbie Crawford permanent deal to Motherwell. He's going to do all the rides at M&D's. What kind of ride do you think Livingston have went on in this transfer window? Though? Unbeaten in 13 games now. Keep in mind.
Right off a cliff.
I mean,
It's a 5. It's fuck it.
yeah, it's a 5. I mean, they haven't really brought anyone in. They haven't really lost anyone, in my opinion. I don't like this for Livingston. They're doing well at the moment. I think when you're doing well, you need to show a bit of ambition and go out and try and strengthen the squad. Do you know what I mean? I would like to see the way Livingston
Well, I
are.
forgot they own fucking half the Middle East. Like, they only own half of fucking Lothian. Fucking.
Sign 11 fucking camels and they could still beat Celtic. So, it's all right.
Right, who's next?
Right, up next, I'll give Livingston a 5,
Is
basically,
it Rangers
because
next?
nothing. Nope. Up next, got Motherwell. Now Motherwell, they have made a lot of signings, so it's a pretty long list. Get ready for it. Brace yourself. Liam Kelly.
Oh, he's no bad.
He's a fucking career mode legend, you prick.
That's what I'm fucking saying.
Liam Kelly on loan to QPR. Stevie Lawless, permanent from Burton. I believe
Aye.
he played for Hibs
He lives beyond
or
the law.
Motherwell. Where did he play? Stephen Law. Maybe he Livingston.
Beyond the law.
Stevie Lawless. I don't know.
That sounds like a fucking Steven Seagal movie.
Harry Smith from Northampton Town on loan.
No,
Sam Foley for St Mirren,
Mick
permanent
Foley.
deal. Robbie Crawford, permanent deal for St Livingston.
I heard
Jordan,
that.
shut the fuck up. Jordan Roberts on loan for Hearts. Eddie Nolan, the Nolan Show, on loan for
That's
Crew
funny,
Alexander. Harry Robinson on loan from Queen of the South,
He's no bad.
and the two players that they let go of, Jordan Archer to Middlesbrough and Jordan White,
No, see here,
Walter
people
White,
talk about like.
Crystal Meth
No, but see
from
here,
Ross
these people
County.
talk about like, oh, this guy signed for League 2, like Scottish League. Oh, he's no fuck off.
I know I've never seen him play. I mean, unless you play Football Manager. Thoughts on Motherwell? I mean, Liam Kelly, I guess. No, Stevie Lawless. There's some recognisable names in there. Jordan Roberts on loan for
I'll give him
Hearts.
a 5. They get rid of the people, they get in people. They're pish. We move on.
Up next, with the league leaders, Rangers. Quiet window in terms of players coming in. Only the two. Scott Wright on Aberdeen is supposed to be a pre-contract, but they managed to pay the money up front, 180k, I believe,
And Jack Simpson.
and they got him earlier. And Jack Simpson from Bournemouth.
66 rated. And they got rid of some dead weight
Thoughts on the players coming in?
squad players.
Squad players, there you go.
Key though, they didn't actually get rid of anyone.
And the players going out: Glenn Middleton on loan to St Johnstone, Cammy Palmer to Linfield, permanent deal. Cammy Palmer.
No, he's no bad. No idea who he is.
Jordan Jones, Sunderland on loan. George the Fridge Edmundson on loan to Derby, and Brandon Barker on loan to Oxford United. So basically, all the players going out, apart from Cammy Palmer, who went to Linfield, who must be obviously shite. They're all loan. So Middleton, Edmundson, Parker, and Jordan Jones will return to Ibrox at the start of next year, whether Rangers really need them or not. I mean, I think Edmundson and Jordan Jones are alright, but who knows? Thoughts on that window?
I'll give it a 6 because
I'll give it a 6 because the
they're
play.
getting rid of dead weight.
Well,
And
they're
they're
not getting
bringing
rid of
in.
dead weight. They're momentarily getting rid of them, but they're getting them back.
No, Edmondson and Jones will be gone, trust me. And they didn't sell anyone.
And they got in Scott Wright, who.
The top of the league. And Celtic a pish.
Right, okay, up next, Ross County. I'll probably give them a 6 as well. Ross County in Jason Naismith from Peterborough, Tony Andrew, free agent, Mohamed Mahuchi from Oldham Athletic, Leo
I know that.
Hayeji on loan from Celtic, Joe Hilton on loan from Blackburn, and Jordan White, permanent transfer from Motherwell. A lot of players coming for Ross County and going out. Ross Stewart away to Sunderland, and
My
Josh Reid.
interest has gone out.
Josh Reid to Coventry. Thoughts on those bad boys?
They're fucking quality. I'll give it a
Thoughts?
5.
Five. What's more players? Like, I don't know. Right, up next, I'll give it a 5 as well. Fuck it, why not? So at the moment, who's tied for the best window here? Hibs and Rangers?
Aye.
6. Up next, we've got St Mirren in. They've got Colin Quainer on a free agent.
Yes.
And Eamon Brophy on loan with a pre-contract to Motherwell. And the outs are Sam Foley to Motherwell and Junior Moraes to Bourwood on loan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give St Mirren a 7. And the reason I'm giving them a 7 is I think Eamon Brophy is. There was talks about Eamon Brophy. I mean, this is a Scottish international, guys. That
Played one game.
no, but my point is, I mean, he's looking. I mean, to me, he could have been signed for a top club in the league. I don't think Eamon Brophy going to Rangers would have been out of the question, or Celtic. I think he'd have been a better fit for like
He's
Aberdeen
better
or
than Greg
Hearts.
Stewart, like, and he fucking
I
plays.
think it's a massive pull for St Mirren.
He doesn't play like, but he's not.
So, I mean, I'm going to give them a 7 for that because see when you first heard Eamon Brophy went to St Mirren,
St Johnson.
were you not shocked?
Not really.
Scottish international.
Going to St Mirren.
Aye, if they come, do you,
Well, it's a similar level, like, it's hardly fucking.
I'm giving it a 7, guys. I think St Mirren have so far had the
Give me a
best window.
TV remote there.
Up next, and finally, last but not least, or maybe it is least, with St Johnstone in, they've brought in Glenn Middleton on loan for Rangers, James Brown on loan to Millwall, he must be far right, and Charlie Gilmore on loan for St Johnstone. When I originally seen Gilmore join St Johnstone, I thought it was Billy, but then I realised if Billy Gilmore joined St Johnstone, they probably would have got a 10. They'll have to settle for shitey brother Charlie. And out,
Is his brother?
I don't know, could be. I mean, well, Gilmore's. I don't know. And out, they've got Callum Hendry on loan to Aberdeen. So thoughts on St Johnstone there? I mean, I think it's decent. I'll probably give them a 6.
No. Middleton went for fucking tearing up Villarreal to nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give St Johnstone a 6, based on maybe getting Glenn Middleton alone. But anyway, guys, there you go. That is the transfer window over. So
Yep.
I think signing in the window has to be St Mirren getting Brophy.
Yep.
I did say Kamberi, but I totally changed my mind. I think Brophy going to St Mirren is a big deal.
Kamberi.
I think it's a massive pull for St Mirren. Did not expect St Mirren, who are, let's be honest, a relegation side. They've always been known as a team that just seemed to hang on, and for them to get Brophy, who when I thought when he was leaving Kilmarnock, I was expecting them to go up the table, not down. But I guess St Mirren are technically higher than Kilmarnock now, so maybe they did go up. But anyway, guys, that's it. Let us know what you thought. Who's your favourite player to get signed? Who do you think was the biggest move in this Scottish transfer window? And until next time.
Peace.